Despite efforts to increase local automobile production, the latest trade figures suggests Nigerians are still looking beyond the country's borders.
Live news, where we bring you the biggest sports stories making headlines across the globe. I am Amarachi Odinaka. Well, coming up on today's program, it's been a busy week in sports, from football to tennis and athletics. Well, we're beginning today with a conversation on the ongoing Enugu City International Marathon, as the core city prepares to host the second edition of the international race this Saturday, 29th August. Well, we'll take you through the latest ahead of the race day, including the different race categories, the impressive prize money on offer, and what to expect as organizers put the final preparations in place. But of course, we'll also turn our attention to the 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Poland, where Nigeria's Falconets are set to compete in Group F alongside China, New Caledonia and Spain. Well, but there's already a major setback for the team, with 3 key players facing visa issues and yet to join the rest of the squad in Poland. Well, we'll take a closer look at the situation and what it could mean for the Falconets preparation. We'll be joined also along in the line of the show. We're joined by a sports broadcaster and analyst as we discuss these developing stories from the Under-20 Women's World Cup. Well, all that and more will be coming up to you on Sportscope. I will take a short break now. When we return, we'll dive into the stories in full. Stay with us. It's been a lot of conversations from athletics to football, and right now we are going into the conversation on the Enugu Coal City. Yes, the prestigious second edition of the Enugu City International Marathon is just 3 days away, and excitement is already building up across the coal city. Well, runners from across Nigeria and beyond are expected to hit the streets of Enugu this Saturday, August 29th, for a day of endurance, competition, and sporting excellence. Well, this year's event features 2 major races: the 42-kilometer elite marathon and the 10-kilometer race, bringing together elite athletes and running enthusiasts for what promises to be an exciting day of action. Well, for the 42-kilometer elite marathon, the flag off will kick off at 6:30 a.m. with the starting point from ShopRite on Abakaliki Road. Well, beyond the competition itself, there is plenty at stake for the athletes, with an impressive prize purse for grabs. In the 42-kilometer elite marathon, the overall winner will take home $15,000, while the top Nigerian finisher will receive 3 million naira. While the second place finisher will earn $10,000, with $5,000 for the third, $3,000 for the fourth, and $2,000 for the fifth. Well, more on that, the Nigerian category also comes with a significant reward: 3 million naira for the first place, 2 million for the second, 1.5 for the third, 1 million naira for the fourth, and 500,000 naira for the fifth position. Well, there's also a prize money to compete in for the 10-kilometer race, with 1 million naira going to the winner of that race, followed by 750,000 naira for the second, 500,000 naira for the third runner-up, 300,000 naira for the fourth, and 200,000 naira for the fifth runner-up. So beyond the prestige of this winning, there is certainly plenty to run for when the athletes take to the streets of Enugu on the 29th of August, Saturday. Before the race day, all roads will also lead to Enugu City International Marathon World Press Conference on Thursday, August 27th. Well, the press conference, this is where the organizers will unveil the final race details, including the security arrangements, logistics, and the full prize money structure for both the 42-kilometer and the 10-kilometer categories. Well, we'll get to see how this tournament unfolds and of course bring you the exclusive updates from Enugu. So far we'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll move away from athletics to other happening across the world of sports. We'll be back after this break to go into this conversation. Stay with us. The upcoming Enugu International Marathon. Now we move away from athletics to football. Yes, the 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup is gathering momentum, with the tournament set to kick off on September 5th in Poland, and it would run through to the September 27th. But now the Nigerian Falcons will be representing the nation at the competition, having been drawn in Group F alongside China, New Caledonia, and Spain. And now with the tournaments fast approaching, the head coach of the Nigeria's under-20s women's national team, Moses Aduku, has made his ambitions clear. Now, Aduku has vowed that the Falconets will not simply be going to Poland to participate, but will fight for the trophy at stake. Well, I'll take that again. Aduku has promised that the team are going into the tournament with full focus, and they are just not going to, represent Nigeria. They're going to make sure they bring the 2026 Under-20 Women's World Cup trophy home. However, there's been a major setback for the Falcons in their preparation for the Under-20 Women's World Cup. Now, 3 key players are facing visa issues with just 2 weeks to go before the tournament gets underway. The 3 players are yet to travel with the squad as their visa issues remain unresolved. Now, the rest of the Falcons squad departed the FCT Abuja for Poland yesterday without these players. Now, the players reportedly affected are the team captain Joy Ibukwe, Sandra John, and Faridat Abdul Wahab. It's really a disappointing situation for the Falcons, especially with the tournament just around the corner and the preparation on the way. 3 key players for the team not going to be, conversations on them not going to be at this tournament based on visa issues. But now, one of the questions people are asking is, how much of a setback could this be for the Falcons? Preparations for the Under-20 Women's World Cup just 2 weeks away from this tournament. What really lies ahead for the Falcons at the Under-20 Women's World Cup? And what's the preparation the NFF are they doing in particular to see if this can be resolved before the kick off? Joining me now to discuss more on the Falcons and what lies ahead at the 20 Women's World Cup for Nigeria is a sports broadcaster and analyst, Ayodele Gideon Jesubemi. He'll be joining us on the show right now after this break. Well, welcome back to Sports Cove. I am still Amarachi Odinaka, and you're still logged on to Sports Cove. Well, I mentioned earlier before break, it's really a sad moment, seeing conversations like this, few weeks to the tournament, the under-20 women's tournaments, visa issues and all of that. Well, joining us now is Gideon Ayodele Gideon Jesubeni, a sports broadcaster and a sports analyst too. Give us his thoughts on this conversations around the under-20 women's team. Well, welcome to the show. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good
afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good and feeling all happy, but not happy with the situations happening around the under-20 women team. But I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I believe no one is happy. Conversations like this, especially with what happened at the Women's World Cup and all of that. Well, talking about, I would love us to go into straight because it's really sad. But tell us key players for the under-20 team. Now we're seeing Ibuke, seeing Joy Ibuke, we're seeing that Sandra, is not going to be there. Joy on her own is the team's captain. Gideon, tell me, what is your take on this ongoing issue with the under-20 women's and some of the players not having their visas just 2 weeks away from the tournament?
Well, like I said, this is a very, very sad situation. The World Cup is not just any kind of tournament. It's the highest tournament when it comes to football. This is a tournament whereby every player dreams to play in. This is a tournament whereby you showcase your country, your talent, and all of that. And I don't think visa issue should be a problem in 2 weeks to the World Cup starting and all of that. I guess all of this should have been fixed way before now, and the players should not even have to worry about all of this because, like you made mention, the captain of the team, the key player of the team, and like the back of the team, captain in big tournaments, it's not something that it should be taken lightly and all of that because it's going to tell on the team itself and it's going to tell on the players themselves. These players who have not gotten the visas, I'm not going to be happy because every player dreams to do, but I hope to be resolved like for tournament start and all of that. Because now players for practice, some preparing what should be done, like finishing touches and all of that. I'm not even have to be thinking about I'm not got to my visa and tournament starting in like 2 weeks time and all of that. So it's really difficult and all of that.
I agree with you. When I just because this conversation about this visa has started before now. It started like 2 days ago before they even depart Abuja to Poland for the preparations for the Women's World Cup. Now, but another sad thing, that is it's really sad. I don't want to shed tears because we've seen what happened at the Women's World Cup. The senior team did not make it to. They're not making it to the World Cup. The men's team to 2026 World Cup. They did not make it to it. Now the under-20 women's team believe that to touch the hearts of Nigerians. A lot of Nigerians are going through a lot. Journalists are also, on social media, at their hearts on it is to go for tournaments, back-to-back tournaments, and Nigeria. With conversation happening in Nigeria, the national team and all of that. Football is going backwards. See these conversations on this. The NFF, it is best to believe that right now, the NFF, this is a conversation. They should find a way to make sure that there shouldn't be any surrounding the under-20 women to the World Cup. And we're seeing issues with under-20 women going to the World Cup. So tell me now, you yourself, where do we do coming up just before it's for for particular. So it's already it's already a bad block about around the team. It's already it's like it's so now Nigerian football, but what we do now, to make sure this tournament is going to be progressing. And today, really, because it's so let me do it.
Okay, thank you. So I believe the NFF should find a way around getting these three their visa, which should be something that is possible to do. That have their way around and all of that. Because Nigerian players, I don't think a lot of because we have a lot of players in Nigeria and administration and management and all of that. So I think much for the match to keep them in shape, informed, and probably get to them at that time. Because currently it's like the are not happy. But again, like from the videos we could see of them departing, we could also tell they are also trying to do their best to see that prove to us that they are capable regardless of whatever setback they might have encountered and all of that. So I think the NFL should step in and try and see what they can do, and if possible, find a way around getting visa for these three key players who haven't gotten their visas yet. So and I believe and I really go far in the tournament if they're determined and if the play as won and don't allow the setback get into them, which will also be like a big work on the part of the coach, trying to motivate them, trying to inspire them, and trying to see that they are all in one head and one ship. Thank you.
I voice. Talking about, let's move away, from this conversation about, like, if we stay, it's going to take us for a long time. Well, for the sake of time,
Yes.
let's move. We talked about the coach, despite the whole issue, the current, I say, the coach to work around it. Talking about the financial around it. In the group, we see that Nigeria will take on Spain, China, and Scotland. These three countries are in the taking from your, what should Nigeria, not Nigeria now, what should the coach do? Coach Moses, what do he adopt in the team? Which approach do you think he should adopt to this tournament? Now, okay, the issues, because we saw what happened to the Super Falcons coach, going into the women's WAFCON rather, and not defending the title, not picking up a women's World Cup ticket for the 2027 World Cup, and also losing your job. Conversation has gone away from the fact that the Super Falcons were not prepared going into the tournament, or they didn't have presentation and all of that. But the point is that they did make it, and the coach has been sacked. Now for the under-20 women's, we don't want to wait till he gets and the coach being sacked. But now for the coach, despite these situations, what tactical approach do he should into this team for the under-20 World Cup for us to have a successful tournament?
Okay, thank you. So for me, I don't think the players should have approached this tournament from a place of fear, because again, everybody knows Spain to be like one of the best when it comes to football.
True.
And Spain likes playing possessive football, whereby they're gonna play you out if you're not careful. So you have to be very disciplined when playing with Spain. Also, you don't have to play from a point of arrogance or to show yourself. And in Spain, very comfortable when it comes to and all of that. And for we can't afford to keep chasing the ball unnecessarily. So what we have to do is just to stay compact, press intelligently, and exploit like spaces we have, like pass and all of that, just to give them all of that. And I want to believe if we play like without fear, probably when it comes to spirit, have a good edge up against them and actually and, um, this probably be slightly change when it comes to taxes for China because for them that will be more important and all of that. I think to take control of the game and also clicker and also try to maximize chances when we have them. Sometimes the stuff again, they are like a lot of chances for the all these chances and all that. So what I would say is this should be very clinical, very compact, and not play from a place of fear because once you approach the football from a place of opponent can sense that fear in you, they try to take advantage of that and knock you out of the game and all of that. So I believe with the help and them going as well, they just as one team, I don't believe coming to show off or coming to China or that's show what I vex as a team and all of that. Playing as regardless of you know being good, sometimes always shows out right at the beginning of football. Thank you.
I do hope if the coach has, like you said, it's really a sad one. But we're a little bit from the under 20 women. Because this conversation now is not just about the under 20 women. Honestly, it's not that issue, the situation around about the under 20 women. So I want us to go away from that in Nigeria. We've seen now, don't you know, the Super Eagles not making it to the World Cup. We saw the conversation down to the women's team not making it. They're not making it to the 2020 Women's World Cup. The under 20 team, Nigerians, Nigerians are seen as at least one team that's going to represent Nigeria in the international stage this year. Visa issues already coming up. Tell me, I want to talk about, away from the under 20, like I said, the Nigerian football situation. Where do you stand, with this current situation right now? This is not just about the under 20 team, like I said. This is about the women's team. This is about the Super Eagles. This is also about the fact that the NFF election has also been cancelled. Elections has been cancelled. There's some news are saying, the federation has, that's the federal government itself has asked that the NFF should resign. But later it came out that the news was false. Now, Gideon, to you, tell me, where do you stand with the current situation with Nigerian football? Because it is all over social media. Nigerian football is going through one of the hardest times that we've seen in recent time. Let's say it's going through it's not a reshaping for us. It's not like we're going backwards. What should we do now, Gideon, to bring us forward, and change the current situation so 2027, 2028, these issues do not repeat itself again? To tell us, do you think time, let's say NFF, please pack up, let's get a new body, do you think it's also time to just, say, okay, let's take a break from Nigeria participating in national tournament for some time until we're done with what's happening at home? So tell us, what is your take on that? What should be done? And, where do you stand with the current situation with Nigerian football?
Okay. So I think currently where Nigerian football is, it's at a point whereby we have to be very honest with ourselves. Like, a lot of Nigerians are not happy with the situations with Nigerian football. Like you mentioned, like the Men's World Cup, we were unable to participate. The Women's World Cup coming up, we were hoping we were going to qualify and we were going to participate. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it to that. And I don't want to believe like talent is a problem when it comes to football in Nigeria because that has been our problem. And the thing is how effective, identify, how we develop them, manage them, sustain them. And I believe the problem with football should be coming from the grassroots. I believe we should go back to the drawing boards and try to see where we've missed it and all of that. Because again, sometimes even some of the players are not even happy playing for the country with them with going of allowance and all of that. Despite all this, the players also try to give in their best and all of that. I believe structure should be put in place. Administration also should be put in place. And the NFF should be also accountable with whatsoever they are doing and all of that. So probably we'll go back to the grassroots whereby we have kids playing, have like good academies in place and all of that, like stadiums in place also whereby people could go train and all of that. And selection should be based on merit and not bias and all of that. So I also think we need to improve relationship with stakeholders and all of that, like our leagues, clubs, academic coaches, players, and private sector. This is not a one-man thing. Everybody has to give in their quota. Everybody has to play a vital role and all of that because Nigerian has like when it comes to Africa and even in the world, we can all tell that Nigeria has like a very good set of talented players, and we could see those players doing well in national football in the international space and all of that. So I don't think taking a break from international football would be the best idea at the moment because if we say we want to take a break. For how long is that going to and all of that? So I believe we just have to do with administration and structure in place. The NFF has to be accountable with all of that and also have just in place like arts. Yeah, thank you.
You really, I totally agree. It's really sad. It's sad that we are having this conversation, especially with. It's sad that we're having this conversation, especially with the fact that this tournament is just 2 weeks away. The women, the Super Falcons just get to the 2026, 2027 World Cup less than 3 weeks ago. Less than 1 month ago, the Super Eagles were not at the Men's World Cup. And also, I also like to let you know that the 2026 FIBA Women's Basketball Tournament is also coming up this September alongside with Under 20, Women's World Cup, Under 20 Women's World Cup. And we've not seen conversations. There are no conversations on social media about the team's preparation. Yes, they are the team. They are currently in Spain. They are trying to prepare ahead of the tournament in. But the news is not there. The fact that we're not having proper conversations about this. I like the fact that you highlighted on that. And
yeah, so sorry to be short.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I feel like when it comes to sports in Nigeria, priority is not the place of sports when it comes to Nigeria. Because I feel probably maybe our government are interested in it and all of that. Because, like you said, the FIBA World Cup is coming up and all of that. But nobody knows about it. Like, we haven't seen any push about it, any news, any build up and all of that. Like, when you go to other countries for tournaments, you can see how invested their country are in sports. Like, for example, let's Morocco. Like when we went to AFCON in Morocco, you could even from street you see kids playing ball, you see stadiums everywhere, you see quality stadiums whereby you go there to play ball, like you see academy, you see all of that. I believe the government should probably have a rethink about sports when it comes to Nigeria and place premium priority on sports. So
okay, quickly
I believe that would be a better one.
Yeah, it's true. I agree with you. Quickly before we wrap up, because I feel as we keep talking about this, emotions are pouring in. It's really sad. I would say it is really sad. I at some point I was thinking about how I'm going to come out. When you have to come out to tell viewers, coming out to tell fans about the fact that Nigeria did not make it to the Women's World Cup, and now you're coming out to tell them that the Under 20 Women's World Cup that the team the Falconets are going to at least be at, there's also issues. It's really sad to have those conversations, but let's move away from that a little bit. And look at, before as we wrap up, I want to ask you, who do you think should, now we've seen that the women's, you just talked about the women's WAFCON in Morocco. Like I said, away from the under 20 women, who comes to your mind to be the next coach for the Super Falcons? We've seen that Coach Justin Madigo, he's off the table, he's no longer with the team and all of that. First of all, who do you think should be the next coach? And if we're looking at that next coach, what should NFF be looking for when they are selecting the next coach for the Super Falcons?
Well, that's a very big question, and at this point in time, no name comes to my mind. Like seriously, no name comes to my mind. But I believe, I just believe the NFF should take their time before selecting a coach and all of that, because a coach plays a very big role when it comes to any sports. And I believe, again, sometimes some of these things are like, I feel when the coach is happy, the players also will be happy and all of that. So I believe NFF should see to making their coach happy, give them whatever support they need and all of that. Sometimes it might be tough and probably the request might be realistic. At least there's always a standpoint where we meet all of that. But I wish them well, and I'm looking forward to see who the next coach for the Super Falcons will be and what the coach is going to do, because there'll be a lot of pressure on whoever the next coach is going to be. So I believe whoever is ready to take on that role, pressure that comes with the role.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. It's been exciting having conversations with you. But before I let you go, that it's been a ritual, on this show. Since the season started, this is not about international anymore. Since the season started, once I have a guest on the show, I always ask them before they go to give me their top 4. The teams they think they're going to make it, the top 4 for the Premier League, the top 4 for La Liga. So what's your top 4? Your top 4 pick for the Premier League, your top 4 pick for La Liga.
Okay, so my top 4 pick for Premier League, I want to believe Arsenal would do well. Probably win the league as much as I want. As one of my students, let's say Arsenal, Man U, Manchester United.
So, Red Devils. Okay, continue. Continue.
So let's say we have Man U, Arsenal, probably Liverpool, maybe City. Yeah, those 4 for Premier League. Then for La Liga, we have Real Madrid, Barca, Atletico Madrid, maybe Sevilla.
Okay, so for the viewers watching you, tell us now your top 4 for Gideon Jesuremi, your top 4 pick for the Premier League: Arsenal first, Manchester United second.
No, Man U first.
Man U first. Okay, so you think Man U is going to win the league?
Yeah.
Okay. Manchester United first, Arsenal second, Liverpool third. Is that what you said? Liverpool is coming third.
Yes.
And then I think you mentioned
City.
about City.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and you mentioned Real Madrid first, Barcelona second, Atletico third, Sevilla fourth. Did I get that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, good luck to Manchester United, and I hope despite the loss against Hull City, I hope I hope that Man United comes back and we get to see what Michael has in store for the Red Devils, Manchester United, as the season progresses. Thank you for joining us on this show. It's been exciting having conversation.
For having me, and pleasure being on your show. Thank you so much.
All right, to see you again some other time. Thank you. Well, we just had Gideon Jesuremi on the show talk to us about conversations around the under-20 women's World Cup, the conversations on the visa issues. It's sad, like I said in the interview, you've been following the show from the start, it says that 3 players from the team were having issues. The captain Joy Book is also among the players. Sandra is also there. We get to see, hopefully we get to see conversations around these. The FF gets also, aside from the under 20 women, we also have the FIBA under 20, the Women's Basketball World Cup also coming up in Germany in September, alongside the under 20 Women's World Cup that is also coming up in September, but that is in Poland. Well, that is much we can take on Sports Scope. Like I said, we certainly hope to bring you more updates in the coming days, particularly from the NFF and the team's camp and the Falconets camp in Poland. But for now, that is all we can take on Sports Scope today. Thank you for staying with us so far. It's been a pleasure bringing you the latest updates in sports. And also thank you to our guest, Gideon Jesubemi, who joined us on the show. I am Amarachi Odinaka for our live news. Do have a wonderful day.